Alright. Well, hi, I'm Karen. In this video today, I'm actually going to be doing a get ready with me because I kind of wanted to chat about something that means something to me. It was something that I allowed this is be real. I allowed myself to go through, all of the crap I put myself through and my body through and my loved ones through. I'm not saying it was that severe, but it's severe enough when people you're in a relationship notice it. Your kids notice you're tired and you're always tired and you're always complaining about you tired, and and that was my drinking. So it's funny because starting this channel, it's called Sips and Tips Advice. And it's funny, initially starting this channel, I enjoyed drinking wine. That was about where I narrowed it down to. I came all the way from drinking Long Island's to vodka with, mixed drinks, making it sweet, because before I didn't like any sweet drinks. I brought it all the way down to just drinking wine. And the funny thing is, it was like I went through phases, because the first time I really noticed that I had an issue was after I had my second son. My body completely did something that was not used to it doing, which was it blacked out. And I wasn't used to that. And I noticed that it had started happening, and I was like, okay, I had to take a break, because you go through some moments in life where you embarrass the crap out of yourself. You embarrass the crap out of your friends. They have to tolerate and be your babysitter and, clean up after you if you all over the place and mess up. Honestly, if it doesn't embarrass you, you're not taking it seriously, and it's something serious. And it took me a while for that to kick in. Like, it's funny, like looking back, and it's like, man, I can't believe it took me that long to like come to this realization. But it's like I went through different phases, and it got to a point where I was just drinking wine. So I'm like, cool, drink wine, have 2 glasses. Sometimes I have 2 glasses, sometimes I'll have more than 2 glasses, or I'll have beer. And I just got to a point where my body just couldn't tolerate it. And the first immediate thing I noticed after I decided, I'm gonna just stop and see what happens. That's not a plan. Saying I'm gonna stop and just see how long I'm gonna stop for, that's basically saying I'm gonna start back drinking. You haven't made up your mind you're gonna stop. And for me, what brought about the change for me to stop drinking was I kept having this feeling. I felt like, I'll go ahead and say it. I felt like God was speaking to me for me to stop. And you know what? I'm gonna go for this. Yeah. So I kept having this feeling, and this is before I started realizing that was God speaking to me and trying to get my attention. And I kept having this feeling, I need to stop. And it's funny, as I started volunteering for events in Atlanta where I would go and I would drink. And it's funny, there's a whole bunch. There's a Atlanta Wine and Food Festival. That one was very, very enjoyable. You had all that food to eat, and I met cool people, and it was fun. But at the same token, just looking back, it was like I was just inviting the door to stay open for me to keep drinking. And so I kept having this feeling, I need to stop. And it was like a regular feeling. It wasn't just, oh, I know I should stop one day, or I should really think about stop drinking at some point. Nope, it was just you need to stop drinking. Yeah, I think I'm good. One pump just really, really worked this in there. I'm about to go somewhere. I forgot to say that I'm actually getting ready to go to a work function that they're having at my job, and they never see me with makeup on. Yeah, and only 2 people know I have a YouTube channel. Moving on. So it's funny, I remember the last event that I did, I felt like God had to poke me where he knew it would affect me, which is my pocket. Remember that day before I had my first video shoot? It was a 2-day gig, and I was like, I was excited about it, but I wasn't really thinking. I already had volunteered to do a wine thing that was going on in Atlanta. I went to that, served wine, talked about it with people, blah, 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 blah. Drank too much, and when you're drinking wine, you don't think that's gonna happen to you, and I didn't think it was gonna happen to me from drinking wine, and it did. But anyway, I went to work the next day on my first video gig, and I was so hungover that my hand was shaking. Y'all, I was so pissed with myself. I was very, very pissed with myself. I was disappointed in myself. I was like, wow, here it is. YouTube has opened a door for me to be able to do this. The Lord has opened a door for me to be able to do this. And here it is. He gives me my first opportunity. And it's not like I worked hard. To me, I did. I felt like that literally just fell into my lap because I knew the person who hired me to do the gig. I felt like, here it is. I have the opportunity to do this, and I'm about to mess it up because I can't control my drinking. when I say, yo, that was the realest, that was the worst, that was the longest day of my life. Step one, my stomach was like going crazy. My hand was shaking like crazy. I needed that. And you know what? I thank God for that experience, because that was my reality check. It was like, dude, you realize that your life is changing and you're going to keep doing something that has never worked for you and that would never work for you. Yeah. So that day I decided I was going to stop drinking, and that was in July of 2015. I literally decided I'm done. And I never decided before that I was done, like never. And that's why I realized the difference was, cause I was like, what's the difference, you know, from any other time that I've actually, you know, taken, you know, a year off, 2 years off. What's the difference? And I realized the difference was I had never made up my mind. Never. I never said I'm done. You know, like I just didn't. And to keep it real with myself, and that was just the most beautiful thing. And then the weird part was something was going on in somebody else's life that I knew, the same exact thing, but except theirs was not a good outcome. And I realized that was God totally speaking to me like, dude, I was telling you to chill out, you know, and you see why you need to chill out? And I'm like, wow, let's do something with these brows. And it's funny, right after that, I ended up working in a hookah bar. It was like a week later. Yeah, I think it was like the following week. One of my friends needed help. He owns a hookah place, and everybody had called out him that day at his job, and he had this group of people coming in. Yeah, he needed help, and I could tell, and he wasn't calling me to ask me for that. He was calling me to help him do some graphics, and I could hear the distress in his voice, and I was like, you know what? I did, you know, waitressing when I was like 16, 18. I was like, you know what? I'll help you. I'll come out there and I'll help you. Went out there, and I made some pretty good money. I was a little excited about that. I learned how to make hookah. What was supposed to be one day, just, you know, go there and help him out, ended up turning into 6 months. And I ended up overseeing like the people that worked there and stuff like that. And, you know, I learned a little something. You know, I learned that I needed to get outside my comfort zone of just being in my house all the time and, you know, working from home and learning to balance more than I thought I could balance. Because I thought about getting another job for the longest, but I was just like, man, I can't handle it, you know? Cause I was like, yo, God is funny. There's no way I would have been to work there if I was drinking. You know how many times people offered me drinks while I was there? And the funny thing was, not once did I have an urge to drink. I was like, suppose I wouldn't have made up my mind. Ain't no way in hell I would have been up in there drinking free drinks and sitting up there smoking hookah with everybody. And I just thought that was just, God just has such an interesting way of doing things, you know? He wants you to listen. And that inclination you feel tugging and pulling on your heart, that's God talking to you. Not telling you to go kill somebody, jump off the bridge, kill yourself, commit suicide, whatever. But like you feel like that inclination you need to be doing something, you need to stop doing something, and that's God talking to you. And the more and more you ignore it, the more and more it's going to be harder for you to hear it. For you to hear him talking to you. I don't think he's ever going to stop. You drown him out more and more, because, you know, that's your practice. All right, I think we get it right there. So it's been like over a year, and it's funny because when July hit, I was like, the event that I had volunteered for hit me up, and that's when I realized, because they will send you an email saying this event's coming up again, would you like to volunteer? And I wanted to crack up so hard, because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been a year since I last drank anything. So much stuff has transpired since then. There's no way, I'm gonna tell you this now, there's no way I would have worked another job and be drinking and partying. There's not, no way. I would want to sleep so bad. Like, I know, like, there's no way I could handle it. What is going on? Why does it look like my face is lifting up? Because it is. All right, let me take this stuff off. I guess just that, having that extra layer just kind of jacked everything up. Anyway, I really just wanted to share this story because I don't know who's out there who's struggling, who's been drinking, who's been partying nonstop. Because trust me, like I tell people, I used to party Sunday through Monday. That was my life when I was younger. And it slowly declined over time. And then now it's like I'm a freaking hermit. I'm a hermit that has a 40-hour job and probably another 36-hour job. And then plus being at home, make sure I raise my son. Plus being on YouTube. So y'all notice I'm MIA. Now y'all know why. Oh my gosh, yeah. Just getting myself out of debt is such a freaking good feeling. And there's no way I would have been able to do that if I was drinking. No way. Not at all. Not at all. I can say that with confidence. And just for you guys who want to know what I watched to really kickstart me into the right gear, I wish I could remember the first person's video that I watched, man. She had some great advice on like your insurance and how to cut it down and all that and still be full coverage. She didn't say that, but I figured that out for myself. She said to go into liability, but I was like, I don't want to do liability. I still want to have full coverage. Anyway, if you want to find out how to get out of debt, I'm going to leave some links down below so you can check out the 2 people that inspired me. I can't remember the first lady's name, but the other one, I watch them all the time, and they're called His and Her Money. All I want to say is if you're trying to do something in life, you need to constantly keep it on your mind. It's kind of like reading the Bible or anything else you do. You want to learn a hobby, you want to learn makeup. If you don't constantly keep it fresh on your mind, constantly feeding yourself with that type of content, with that type of information, you are going to falter. You are going to fall off the wayside. You are going to lean into whatever world you're going to lean into. There's no way I would be able to do any of those things if I was still drinking. There's no way I would be getting myself out of this, the debt that I owe, so I can work on having more stability in my life. And I'm doing it for another purpose, but I don't want to talk about it yet. I'll talk about it when God allows it to happen. So, bam, we'll go there. Now I gotta say that Sandra Deluxe using the finger thing, that's the first time I've done it with this foundation, and this just went on way better than the brush ever did. Oh my gosh. Wow. Anyway, all I want to say is, I want to speak to somebody out there that been drinking for way too long. It's getting to your body. You're embarrassing yourself, and and the funny thing is, you may be embarrassing the crap out of people who know you, and they're not your friend enough to tell you, or maybe they don't think you're gonna listen. They think you're too hard-headed, you're too headstrong. You're not gonna listen to them and they advise you and tell you, hey, you need to stop drinking because you know what? It's making you look like a. All of the above. You can pick one. I'm gonna be that person to tell you stop. Make up your mind to stop. What are you gaining from it? If you're saying you're having fun, you are kidding yourself. You're trying to tell me you can't have fun without drinking? And I know most people will be like, oh, that's that infamous blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you this, if you can't have fun with people, you can't be in love with them, you can't hang out with them without having to drink before you need to do something, or you need to drink to get freaky or whatever, I'm gonna tell you this, life is going to suck. You're gonna be majorly disappointed, get to be 40, 50, 60, and you turn back and wish you would have taken that time to really stop doing some of the things you were doing and how it's affecting your life right now. It can affect your organs. Nobody has time for that. Nobody has to be worrying about no transplant or, putting yourself in a situation where people take advantage of you because you're drinking. You can't blame it on nobody else. Because in essence, you condone it. I'm not saying that anybody deserves to have that happen to them, trust me. But you have to, at some point, take responsibility for what you do. You do. I'm just saying all this just to keep it real, because I wish somebody would have kept it real with me. I wish somebody would have stopped and not been afraid to tell me. Actually, I did have some people. I was lucky enough to have 2 people. Neither one of them were actually my friends. They were people that I was dating. It's funny. Sometimes it may not resonate at that moment. It may take years later before it resonates and it finally clicks for you like it did for me. Especially if you're working to live more of a Christian lifestyle. You as a woman drinking, you're just opening the door for temptation, for you to make an excuse for why you slept with somebody and a blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It's funny, the older and older I get now, it's like, or more mature I get, I meet people who, inspire me, encourage me. And when they say stuff, I take heed, especially now that I see myself better. I see myself more and more. Each day I see myself more and more, and I see the person that I am and the person that I'm becoming into, and the person I want to be, the person I want to be for God, the person just being real, like the kind of godly woman that I want to be. And I guess that's the question you have to ask yourself. What kind of woman do you want to be? You want to be the one that talks about, I was so drunk, I was so tipsy, I was effed up. Oh yeah, la 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 la. And then you don't remember nothing, or that's what people remember you for. Trust me, you don't want to be that woman. You don't want to be that woman, that girl, that whatever. You don't want to be that person. And I want to say this, if you aren't taking time to do inventory in your life, you're not taking time to see, hey, this isn't working for me, this is working for me. Maybe I need to chill out on this or do more of this, or, if you're not taking time to do that, you're going to see a lot of things in your life that you're not going to like happen. And then you're going to feel like your life is spiraling out of control, and you're going to wonder why. If you don't know where to start, or you don't feel like you have the strength, I want to urge you to pray. I want to urge you to pray. That was one of the best things I could have done. All the self-help books that I ever purchased, and I started to buy and get into was to do a self inventory, checking myself, seeing where I was. If I didn't like it, I always took a break. And my friends will confirm, they will confirm that I have the tendency to isolate myself. It's not I'm doing it because I don't want to speak to them, but I'm doing it because it's something I need to check about myself and to tweak. And we all need that. So if you're not taking that time and you're just moving, you don't want to get to that place where you're going to crash. That's what's going to happen. Alright, and of course the theme for the party at my job today is to dress up in the year that you were born. So I'm trying. Alright, finally got the hair to look right. This is a topic I kind of been like waiting. I don't want to say waiting for the right time per se, but I was kind of waiting to be led to share it. And now I'm starting to feel that feeling that I've been led to share it. And I don't know who out there is supposed to be watching this, but just know if you're watching this, this is for you. You have issues with drinking, or you have issues with something else along the lines, of something you haven't definitely said no to. I'm gonna let this go, period, in my life. I'm not gonna do this anymore. This is for you. Once you start to learn to let go of things in your life, the same exact application here or technique or whatever, thought process, way of doing things, changing your life, way of living, you're gonna use it in the rest of your life. You're gonna apply it in other places. And that's the thing that I can say is from me stopping to do a lot of things, it's helped make the process easier and easier when I had to stop doing something else that honestly I know I had no business doing. So this is the first one. I'll do another video when I'm led to about some other subjects that are pretty, I don't want to say out there, but they're to the point. Anyway, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.